read Think and Grow Rich? He was talking about the people like building a team around. I guess what I want to talk about today actually comes from that book.
I think I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going?
Yeah.
In that book, he mentions, one of the things he mentions is about building your own advisory board.
Your power base.
I made a list of people that I idolize, people that I admire, people that I look up to, people that I respect.
And there is so much, like say some of these entrepreneurs, some of these business people, life coaches, whoever it is, they put out so much content, books, podcasts, clips on YouTube, their social media pages, everything. They put out so much content that you can genuinely be guided, influenced, learn from what they're putting out there.
So if you haven't done this and you just listen to this whole episode, this is something you should take some time out and sit down and do.
This could create the change. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of $1 Million Days. My name is George Passas.
And I'm Robby Choucair. I thought we said we're going to stop introducing ourselves.
Did we?
Didn't we say that on the last episode?
I don't know if I got that memo.
No. Do you even listen to the podcast?
Did you put it in the suggestion box?
Is there one? I'll send it to HR.
Send it to HR.
What's going on?
Good, man. I'm excited to be here. Another episode.
Another
one
day,
less to 1,000.
Another day, another
$1 million. That's it. I've got no idea what we're talking about today, which is actually a little bit exciting to me.
Yeah,
You've been telling me for a few days, oi, I got the best topic to talk about in our next episode. I'm like, all right, let's roll.
So
okay, you're going to tell me? I actually didn't ask you what it was going to be purposely.
Yeah.
And then I get here today, you go, you're going to tell me? And you're like, nah.
I reckon...
I might not know.
You might have no idea.
I might just be sitting here and you're talking and I'm just asking questions all day.
It's
all episode.
Standard.
That's it. It's living in your shadow.
Have you read, well, I'll start with this.
Yes.
So Sunday, I was driving and I was on my way to my uncle's house to watch the UFC. And I was listening to PBD, the book. And he mentioned something.
Patrick Bet David,
Patrick
for
Bet
those
David. If you don't know.
listening at home.
If you don't know, switch it off.
Yeah. Turn off the podcast.
PBD's book, Your Next 5 Moves.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it, and I think I'm up to chapter 2 or 3. Oh, sorry, move 2 or 3. And he was talking about the people like building a team around you, right? And that made me think about the last episode that we recorded, and we started talking about team.
Yeah.
And he started talking about advisors and things like that. Now, have you read Think and Grow Rich?
I have, but it was a while ago. It was one of the first books I read.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you like it?
I did. Yes.
All right. So this, I guess what I want to talk about today actually comes from that book.
I think I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I don't know. Go. I'm curious.
Okay. So in that book, he mentions, one of the things he mentions is about building your own advisory board.
Your power base.
Is that what he calls it?
Yeah.
And the team of
That's
people.
where you were going.
Around,
That's where you're
I'm
going.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yes.
That's exactly because
Wow.
he spoke about
Such
it.
a good
He spoke
topic.
about it on the book. In
Yeah.
his book,
Yeah.
he mentions advisors, blah blah blah. And I thought, and I started thinking because I've done it. I've sat down when I read the book. I sat down and I made a list of people that I idolize.
After that chapter?
No.
Oh no, sorry.
I did it
after
when I read Think and
Rich.
Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I sat down and I made a list of people that I idolize, people that I admire, people that I look up to, people that I respect, and pretty much made my own advisory board
Yeah.
of people that I've never met in my life, but people that I've studied, known, read their books. Da, da, da. And now, even till now, from when I did it to now, that room has changed. The seats at the table have changed. And have you ever done it?
No.
Okay, we're going to do it live.
Cool.
So do you understand you know what the concept is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's basically pick a group of people or pick a group of individuals that you like and you're building your own board members for your life, for everything. Anything, whatever goes wrong or right, you turn to this board and you tell them what's happening and they advise you.
Yeah.
Right? So I wanted to touch on, I guess, who would you have and why?
Cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think whoever's going to be on the list has to be people that will help you propel in the direction that you want to go. That's
100%.
definitely the first thing. I'm not inviting you onto this table because you're a good bloke or I find you attractive.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No eye candy. But it's there purely for a purpose. And here's the thing about these types of people, and you touched on it, it doesn't have to be people you know. And that's something that a lot of people are like, oh, I want to find a mentor, but I don't have that connection with them. You don't need to have a physical or a personal relationship with a mentor, because your mentor could be Patrick Bet David.
What's what they call silent mentors, right?
Yeah.
It's they talk to you, but you can't talk
That's
back.
right. And there is so much, like say some of these entrepreneurs, some of these business people, life coaches, whoever it is, they put out so much content, books, podcasts, clips on YouTube, their social media pages, everything. They put out so much content that you can genuinely be guided, influenced, learn from what they're putting out there. And the most recent one that I know of is Alex Hormozi and what he's doing.
Yeah.
Documenting his journey to become a billionaire, but also along the way giving you exceptional value and teaching you shit for free. And you simply implementing a lot of that stuff will have massive success with that. And you've recently done that too, even with the strategies on how we do our advertising for all the businesses. You've gone, well, cool, let's do this, 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 and this, and then let's give them all of this as a bonus. And then on top of that, we're only going to charge them this, or we're going to give it to them all for free. Or I'm going to change the strategy. I'm going to go buy this list. I'm going to email these people. I'm going to target it like this. And you've been able to have mentorship from him and never met him before in your life.
He's 100% on my board.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think
without
he
a
would have to
doubt,
be.
yeah.
In this modern day age in business, he's got to be there. Because I think the
he's
way he's marketed himself is fantastic. And
Phenomenal, man.
he's grown his audience to be massive. He's sought out his own advisors. He's had like Grant Cardone on that as his own mentor. He paid him $100,000 to spend half a day with him and go, yep, here's $100K. What do I need to do? And then Grant looked at his socials and said, man, you're not putting out enough content. And he's like, okay, cool. So he went out and now puts out 3-4 pieces of content a day across every single platform.
Yeah, he does
blew up.
300 and something
Guys,
pieces.
this guy had 8,000 followers less than 24 months ago.
Yeah, something
and now
like
he has over 1 million. So people that sit there and go, oh, I need 1 million, I need 10,000, I need this many followers, I need this influence. You're not fucking doing the push-ups. You are not doing the push-ups. And you need to get to that space. So yes, I would have him on my board. Who else? Patrick Bet David. Only over the last, I reckon, 6 to 12 months, I've really gotten into his content and really enjoy listening to him. I think he's a very smart man. I think business savvy.
Very, very intelligent.
Yeah, but I just love his, even from the perspective of how he thinks about family and how he thinks about life, I really resonate with a lot of that as well myself. So I would definitely have him on my board and have that connection there for sure. Who else? I would actually have, you might be surprised by this, I would have my dad on the board too.
Yeah,
I think my dad has always given me a lot of advice that has been beneficial for me during difficult times, during good times, during my whole life, obviously, as a kid growing up as well, always guiding me in that right direction. And even now, if I have some sort of a big idea or something that I want an opinion on something, I'll definitely ask him about it. Say, hey, I'm thinking about this. And even though I may already know his answer and may not agree with what he's saying, I still like running it by him because I want to hear that subjective response. Now, a perfect example of that is he never believed I could achieve what I'm achieving with Builder Elite. He was blown away when I called him up the first day and said, hey, I did this. And he was just like, what the actual fuck? He goes, I cannot believe that you've done that. How did you do it? I said, this. And he goes, nah, it's not possible. There's no way you're going to be able to get people to sign up to this course. I said, watch me. And then I said, I need you to understand something. I'm going to do this and we're going to make $1 million in a day. It's going to get to that day where it's going to go bang. And there's that 30, 40, 50 sign-ups in a day and you've got your $1 million in the bank. And he just sat back and laughed in the sense that he goes, I can't believe that people are willing to part with their money in this time, being a difficult period in the industry, to come and work with you. And I said, yeah, it's for a couple of reasons. A, I'm now trained as far as how to show them why I'm the best person to work with. And B, I've done the push-ups over the last 15, 20 years.
Built brand.
That's right. But it's not just the brand, it's the knowledge base. Like I am offering my 25 years of experience in the industry and running businesses, and I'm compressing that into 12 months if you come and work with me. And people, and who said it? Simon Sinek said, I would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to sit down with someone and get 20 years worth of knowledge and experience in, 6, 12 months, a week, whatever it is.
It's well worth it, man.
It is. And I look back at my own journey as far as me seeking out actual people that I would pay money to and go, okay, I've invested this much money. And even though at the time it was a lot of money, I look back at that journey and go, look at how much I've grown as a person, as a business owner. Has that money been paid back? Absolutely. Absolutely across the board. I've got no doubt about it.
Yeah. And the ROI is forever. Right? Like
that's right.
If it hasn't been paid yet,
that's
it's
right.
going to be...
And then do you know what is also cool about that? You can pass it forward. I can now teach other people these things too. Again, because I've had that experience. I've gone out and sought out that mentor, read that book, connected with that person, and then gone, okay, great. Now I've learnt those things from him. I can help teach you that too.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, and I really like that. And that's not for everyone. A lot of people just want to use it for themselves. They don't need to be mentoring. But you know what? At the end of the day, you will eventually mentor someone. It might be your wife, your partner, your kids, your cousin, your friend, whoever it is. You will give someone advice based off the experiences that you've had, especially if you become ultra successful.
Yeah, I think also when you are put in a position where you have to teach someone something, you have to adopt a higher level of mastery, right? You need to now become even better at what it is, because they'll ask you questions that you haven't thought of or you haven't faced yourself, and then you're like, oh, I never thought of that, and then you break it down because you know what you're talking about, and then now you understand what you do even more. You know what I mean? So passing that on, makes you better.
You become a master once you teach other people.
New level of mastery.
Yeah. I would have you on my board.
Me?
Absolutely. You want to come? I've got some hot shots on there, though.
Sit next to home.
Just don't be a fucking fanboy when you get there, yeah?
I can't help it.
I learned this not learned this. I've always been like this anyway. I've never been starstruck. Have you?
Rarely.
Like if any one of those guys walked into this room right now, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, I just love you.
Yeah, I'm with you. They're just human beings that are phenomenally, like they're very successful at what they do.
But I feel that it would be that's the way it would need to be. All right. And I say, as in to get their respect. Don't be a fanboy. I would definitely go up to Patrick Bet-David and be like, hey, I thank you very much for everything that you give out. I've gotten a lot of value and genuinely really like everything you've talked about and done. Oh, thank you. That's it.
What are you going to do?
So I'm just going to go grab a drink.
Like, what are you going to start crying?
Can I get you a drink or anything? How was your flight?
I'm definitely not a can I get a photo?
Yeah.
Kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't
I've
do
been
that
the same.
ever.
Do you know, I think, who was it? I've always wanted to go up to someone like that's really famous, give them my camera and just go, oh, hey, so let's just pretend it's Patrick Bet-David. It's like, Pat, could you do me a favor? It's like, I just want you to take a photo. Is that okay? And then give him my camera and get him to take a photo of me and my wife. Yeah, thanks, Pat. By the way, I love your work.
Yeah.
All the best. And then walk off.
Or
I reckon that would just blow people's minds.
Or call him the wrong name, be like, thanks, Pete. He'll just look at you like...
I wouldn't go down that path.
Nah, I
reckon that would be funny. It'd be more for my entertainment
just for a
than
laugh.
anything
Yeah,
else.
just for a laugh. So you can tell your mates later.
They're just
like,
not
you're
mates.
not going to believe what I did to PBD.
That's it.
That's
So I would have you on there. And this morning we actually did a 2-hour session. We did a 2-hour session, started at 7 a.m. and we were talking business and strategy and growth and where we wanted to be in the next 3, 6 and 12 months time. Talking about some pretty cool things, how we're going to get to growing one of the companies we're involved with, Legacy Media, to a 7-figure business in the next 12 months. What does that look like? Or sorry, in the next 24 months, we said. Earlier if possible. What does that look like? Then talking about, okay, great, do we need a bigger team? Talking about, we're talking about shit that isn't even the realm of where we are today. What's going to happen in 6 to 12 months? Yeah. And even saying, well, what's the end game? Where are we wanting this to go? Because not many people have those conversations. And now that's something we've teed up to be a monthly meeting at the very least. Could be a fortnightly one, but I think for the time being, it'll be a monthly meeting. We see each other all the time with podcasts and shit, and we always run ideas past each other. But 2024 is looking like a great year, and we've really just scratched the surface of what we're looking to achieve with everything. Do you know what I mean? And the people we want to bring along on the journey too is going to be important, and who's going to help us achieve those goals. Now, as you said, it could be your boardroom table. It could be employees, your partner, your family, your friends, whoever it's going to be on there, for sure. One other person I would have on there. Oh, I've got to think about this one.
That's the whole point, right?
There's this.
The
person I'm about to say, I'm actually don't know if I would have them on there.
Openly, this is the open discussion. Who is it?
You ready for it?
No. Why are you thinking about it?
Because I don't know if I would have them on my board of advisors.
Yeah, but who is it?
My wife.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
No comment. I mean, of course, you should totally have Nicole on your board of advisors. Always. Just remember this.
I don't know. Actually, you know what? I retract that statement.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to have her on there.
We'll just edit that out of there.
Yeah, that's it. Take this out of it. And I'll tell you why. I would tell her everything.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think she would give me the best advice.
Would you have any
from
females?
A perspective? Potentially.
Yeah.
None that come to my mind.
Yeah, me either. I couldn't think of one when I did it.
None that I've like
with some of my friends, and I was like, hey, I can't think of a single.
Yeah.
Jeez, I can't think of a single female.
Yeah.
That I would have. Not that I've got anything against them. I'm just not inspired by them. Like they
that particular
inspire
one.
other women. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
and then one of my
something
mates
that
was
resonates.
like, "What about Oprah?" And I was like, "I don't want to listen to Oprah."
Yeah.
Like, with all due respect,
I don't.
I think she's a phenomenal woman. Like, she's achieved amazing things in life and business. But I just don't see her being able to help me.
It's probably because you haven't seen that side of her. She probably could, in all honesty. Like, say Oprah
Potentially,
walked
yeah,
into the
she's
room
done
and said,
some-
"Okay, boys, let's
if-
fuck shit up."
When I'm picking,
Yeah.
she was not a pick.
Yeah, but that's partly because I haven't seen anything of her other than the Oprah Winfrey show, and I watched it a little bit. Not even watched a full episode. I don't think.
The
So,
only
do you know
reason,
what I mean?
the only
If
reason
she
you'd
had
want to
put her in that space, well, she's a billionaire.
Yeah, but the only reason you'd want to run is so you can sit there. You get a bag.
Yeah,
you get a bag. You get a car.
Everyone
Whatever.
gets
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that's just to recreate that.
Just to
meme.
do. Yeah, that's it. And then sit down. Get out.
So back to where I was, having my wife on the board of advisors, I don't necessarily think she gives me the best advice. She can definitely. I'm probably more the dreamer in our relationship, in the sense that, hey, we're going to do this. I want to get this. I'm going to have a helicopter with a yacht, all that sort of stuff. And she can sometimes help bring me down a little bit and just go, hey, chill.
You need that though.
100%. Which is why I considered having her on the board. But I don't think I need her on the board to do that. I would just have that conversation with her. I think as a marriage between with you and your partner, you've got to have really clear communication as far as direction that you're doing and going and everything, because they should be involved in that process to a degree. They should be, because
of course. You're in a partnership together.
Yeah, because for example, this is where I find a lot of business owners struggle, and I have in the past as well, is you're grinding, you're working like an animal. This is particularly for men in this instance, what I'm talking about. Most of the men, let's be stereotypical, are the providers of a family.
Yep.
And they are the ones, they go out there, they work hard, they bust their ass. They don't do it for thanks, they don't do it for praise, they don't do it for accolades. They do it because they are the providers. They're the ones that are supposed to look after their family, provide them the life that they want. They do it for honourable reasons. The trap most men fall into, and I genuinely believe is partly why divorce rates are so high, is they prioritise that over their relationship with their family, with their kids and with their wife, and then they become that provider. Do you know what I mean? They're that person. That's their role. That's all they do. And along the way, they forget to be a father, they forget to be a husband, they forget to be a friend, they forget to do all these other things because they're so focused and busy on doing that. So having that communication with your partner and saying, hey, this is genuinely what I'm trying to achieve over the next 12 months. I want to have an 8-figure, 9-figure, 10-figure business. I want to exit in 5 years. I want to do this, I want to do that. In order for me to do that, this is what it's going to take. I need you to bring me down sometimes. I say, hey, you're working too hard. Hey, let's go on a holiday. Hey, this weekend we're doing this, this, and this. So to help balance that aspect of you, because your partner should be your peace at home, right? They should be.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, this is huge. But this is where this has gone a little bit sideways from what we were talking about.
Go with it.
Yeah, but they should be your peace. They should be your happiness when you get home, because you go home, you go to work every day and you're fucking battling.
Was I having this conversation with you the other day?
Don't know. I don't think.
And I was saying, I'd hate to come home and I've been at war all
it wasn't
day
me.
and I would hate to come home and get nothing but challenged by my missus.
Yeah.
I would hate that. Like,
And I've had that though. And I think a lot of relationships do have that because you don't have that clear communication and that discussion. And that's what it leads to. It leads to resentment. Oh, what have you been doing? She goes, I've been home all day with the kids whilst you've been at work fucking going for lunches and coffees. And you're like, what the fuck? Do you know what I had to deal with today?
yeah.
Do you know what
Just
I had
putting
to
out
do with this
fires all
client?
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what this client's trying to do? Do you know this fucker's trying to sue me? Do you know I've got this? Do you know I've got that? Do you know, oh, by the way, we're not eating tonight because I don't have any money in the account? Like and then you build resentment for your partner at home.
Because then you're like, I'm doing all this for you.
Yeah.
Like,
you get to sit home and watch Netflix all day and change a couple of fucking diapers. How about we change our roles?
And she's like, you don't care.
That's
and then you're like, no, you don't care. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why communication is so important and having that really clear conversation about, this is when we're going to do holidays. We're booking a holiday in September, school holidays. We're going away for 2 weeks. I'm blocking it out in my calendar. I can set aside that time. We can do that. I need you to know that between these next 6 months, I have to work like an animal because I got to do that. Can you like keep me in line, support me? I'll still come home. Again, I'm just going to talk from a male's perspective for the time being, and even females. Like, you guys can understand the challenges. If you guys can do this to your husbands, to your partners, you're going to see a man that's unstoppable if you can support them in this way. And if they can be your peace when you come home and they support you in every single way and respect you in every single way, you will achieve amazing things. Amazing things. And when a man feels appreciated and respected, it's like, fuck.
It's fuel, man.
It is fuel. You don't need accolades. You don't need, hey, you are the best. You are so good. Like, you don't need that worship. You need that support and respect.
Yeah.
That's what a man needs. And that's why I would have my wife on the board. However...
So you would or you wouldn't?
No, that's why I would consider.
Oh, okay.
I would consider. But in the same token, I don't speak to her about business strategy with anything.
So
like, if I'm going to go out and spend 120 grand on a brand new excavator, I'm not going to call her up and say, hey, am I buying a fucking Hitachi or like... Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to call her up.
You wouldn't run that by her?
I'm not going to... Fuck no.
Not for excavators?
Nothing. I will not call her up if I'm going to make a business decision. I'm not going to call her up and say, what do you reckon?
Yeah, so
Unless I have to mortgage the fucking house.
I guess...
Do you know what I mean?
But that's a family impacting decision.
That's right.
That's different.
That's right. I'm not going to call her up and say, and for a big purchase for business, I'm not going to say, hey, I'm buying an excavator. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Okay,
it's
so
fucking irrelevant.
here's how you need to look at this, though. This advisory board is a board that you can turn to for anything in life.
Correct.
Anything.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be on there.
No.
Like, she doesn't. It doesn't necessarily have to. You might turn to her for particular things. You might want to just have your relationship as its own thing.
Then in that basis, then absolutely it could be on the board. As a person that's going to impact you in your life, then yes, she's on for sure. Like, no doubt. So yeah, I would have that person there. However, if we're talking just from a business perspective, I don't think I would have her there. I would definitely have that discussion. No, but I know it depends what my board is, the purpose of my board is. But okay, let's talk about relationships. Then yes, she would have to be on there. She's the core relationship in my life.
Yeah.
So I would have to have her on there and say, hey, what do you think about us spending 6 months in Greece? You know what I mean? Working from there, working holiday. Like, that's a big decision that would impact her. And then I could say to the board, hey guys, what do you think about my operations from Europe?
So you could go to the board and be like, how do I tell my wife we're going to work 6 months from Greece? Do you know what I mean? And they could be like, all right, do it like this.
But this is the thing, right? If you have that supportive relationship at home, they'll back you up 110%.
Yeah.
But you've got to communicate that with them and say, hey, what do you really think? Oh, look, I don't want to take the kids out of school. I think it's detrimental. And then you go, okay, well then Greece isn't on the cards.
And you work together and you work out.
You work that out. So, but a lot of people won't have those conversations. They don't have that time where they go, we need to set a time this part of the day to go do this. So speaking on that, anyway, it's probably beneficial to have someone on the board, and I don't know who that would be for me, but from a relationships point of view or from a mindset point of view, not just business, someone that can help you in that aspect too.
Yeah.
Not just your relationship with your partner, I'm saying even relationships with people, because you're going to get good people to work with, you're going to get difficult people to work with. So some sort of expert in that field, I think, would be beneficial on a table.
Psych.
Almost, yeah. Okay, great. A great example, one of our friends, Craig. Like, he could potentially be a great person to have on that space and go, okay, cool, he's a life coach. He's a life therapist, let's say. So he could potentially give you some advice in that area as far as, okay, think about it like this, do it like this.
Yeah.
Potentially. I'm not saying him, but yeah, someone like that potentially.
Like a Tony Robbins.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never resonated with what Tony Robbins teaches and does. However, he's definitely a smart man. I definitely respect everything he has built and done and made, but I probably haven't deep dived into his content as much as you have. Yeah, you've really gone and done a lot of stuff with him, or we're through his courses and stuff.
I'm a fan. He's got some good stuff.
Yeah,
and he's taught me a lot personally.
I would have
indirectly or directly, but
I would have my PT on there.
Your PT?
Yeah, my personal trainer. Yeah, he's the best guy I've ever come across when it comes to health and fitness.
Are you going to listen to this?
He fucking better. I'm going to drop him.
Otherwise, you're off.
You're off the team. I would, because again, we're talking about everything in life. You want 100%. The people that are going to excel you in life. I'm going to put him on there. And he's going to be like, oi, when are you going to have, you still going to be able to work out this week? All right. You're going to eat fucking fish and chips, or you're going to have a salad. So someone keeping you accountable in that space. So I would have him on the board. I think you need, I want to be, this is the thing. I want to be exceptional at everything in my life. Why be mediocre?
In a particular area, yeah. I agree.
But in all areas,
100%.
like in all areas. And it's like we said in our meeting today, it's like, well, what are we trying to achieve? Do you want to just make 6 figures? Like, fuck that. Why not have I'm thinking 7 figures. Oh, that's massive for a media company. Bro, like, why not have 8 figures?
Yeah.
Like, man, that's huge. Yeah. Like in my mind, I'm like, how you do it? Like, I'm trying to think, I'm like, fuck, how many sales is that a month? How many this? Like, that's massive.
Run the numbers for 9 figures.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It is. I've got no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
But you'll figure it out.
Yeah, keep
and
fun.
having these board.
To have 3,000 clients on, we need a lot of team.
Yeah, that's it.
To manage that.
That's it. GC would be on there too, Grant Cardone.
GC1.
I've always been a fan for a long time. Ever since I saw him live in Melbourne, I invested a lot of money in his training. I've learnt a lot from him. I've met him once, shook his hand, took a photo, said g'day. And I would have him on the board. I think he's just got a wealth of knowledge in sales, in how he goes about life and business. I really like him. A lot of people don't. Might even become a Scientologist after that too. But
yeah.
Why not? That's fucking
I tell you what I like about him. He makes you... I like to think that I don't think small.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like most people I talk to will say, no, you don't think small. Like I'm generally talking big picture stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I'll watch something of his and he'll make me feel like I'm a bit small.
How funny.
And I'll be like, oh my God. Like, wow, you know, and it just shows it's environment, right? It's who you surround yourself with. Like everyone else is like, man, like that's, you know, that's big. Like you got big goals. And then you go listen to this guy and you think, not playing this game anywhere near as big as I should be.
Yeah, so true. And we said that the other day because one of the things that we say is we want to land our helicopter on our super yacht. And we said it in a few podcasts ago. Well, what we're doing today isn't going to get us that chopper and that super yacht. What we're doing right now. So what has to change in order to do?
Did you say that on the pod, or was that off?
I don't know. I thought it was on, but it might have been like
it was in this position.
Intermission.
It was, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was sitting like this.
Yeah, it was before the podcast had actually
possibly
started.
Yeah.
Before the clap.
Good blooper reel that comes out.
That's it. So things have to change in order to get to that space. And you're like, fuck, yeah.
What got you here won't get you there.
Yeah. Man, that's cool. I really love that saying. And I think it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, it will. The skills that you learnt got you to where you are today won't get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
It is as simple as that.
It's like they were skills to get you to this point. Now you need to level up.
When I realised that, I'm like, fuck. That is so true.
The game never ends.
I know.
It's
but
fucking
it
mad.
was so true too. Like when I heard that,
imagine now, like that's it. You
win life.
Level 99. There's no surpassing this. Yeah.
There's no level 100.
That's it. Yeah. You know, this is the cap. There's no cap. There's no ceiling.
No. When I heard that, I was like, yeah, that is so true. Like I've got all these skills and I have a lot. You think you've got a lot. You think you're really good at and you probably are really good at what you do. Someone better.
Yeah, and
someone
also,
bigger.
You should look back and say, fuck, I thought I was good then. Because if you don't, that means you haven't grown.
Yeah, I look back. I look back at that and I go, yeah, every year I've gone to another level for the last, you know what? Ever since every year, fuck it.
You need
every year I've gone to another level.
You need GC
Yeah.
on the board.
Yeah.
He's the big vision, big picture. Why are you playing so small, man?
That's it.
And you're like, you're right, Uncle G.
That's it. Uncle G.
You're right.
That's it.
You're right. Who else?
Who else? Who else would I have on the board?
Who else?
Got a pretty impressive list so far.
I can hope so. You picked it.
That's it. I would like to have someone that's an expert in my field.
Yeah, I was actually
construction.
gonna ask you that.
Yeah, yeah.
So who
There's a
would that
mentor
be?
I'm trying to reach out to at the moment. Well, not a mentor. There's a business owner I'm trying to reach out to at the moment, and I'll probably just have to make a few more phone calls. I reckon I can get it.
In Oz or
Yeah, in Australia. I won't say who it is, but he was a builder who sold his company for close to $50 million to another builder, to another building company. And I want to know what he did to get there.
Oh yeah.
So I'd have him on that board too.
Yeah, well, you want people who have sort of walked the path that you're trying to walk, right?
Yeah, so I would have him on there.
So you'd have someone industry specific?
Industry specific, but then it's like I'm doing other industry specific things too now as well. So I've got the consulting business too. And I go look at that and go, okay, well, who's doing some pretty cool events and blowing shit up at the moment? And someone that I would actually look at now is, or it's not look at, someone I am involved with now is Aaron Sansoni. So I would have him on that board as well, I think, because I look at what he's built as far as his whole program, and I don't think there's anyone better in Australia at the moment. There's a couple that I know are close, or there's one other guy. I'd say Kerwin Ray's actually pretty good at it too. I'd say he's built that.
Yep.
But I've never really deep dived into his stuff. I've been to a couple of his events. I did one virtually, which was shit, only because, not shit as in the content itself was shit. It's
just doing a virtual event.
Doing in a virtual, as a 3-day course, for me it was draining, and I actually didn't pay attention. I was working whilst listening to it in the background. And I remember getting into one of the breakout rooms, and they're like, oh, so George, what did you think? And I said, honestly, I fucking didn't listen to a thing he just said.
I've been with you in those breakout rooms and I've seen you not paying attention. They put the light on you and then you're like, yeah, I really liked. And then you went and you said something and I was like, that was solid for a guy that was not.
Oh, well, because you know.
I was not listening. Like, well done.
It's because I'll listen to one thing and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just talk about that and just elaborate. It's like that. Have you seen Billy Madison? Surely you've seen that movie.
Is it the golf?
Yeah, anyway, there's this section where he gets asked a question. No, is it
That's
Billy
not the
Madison?
golf one.
No, not the Billy Madison. The
Happy Gilmore.
No. Billy Madison's the other one where he goes back to school as an adult.
When he stutters?
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Yeah. So there's this meme that goes around and it's like he gets asked a question and then he just blabbers on about fucking nothing, and then the judge turns around and goes, no, that is so far from the truth. That is completely wrong. Everyone in this room is now more stupid for having listened to you talk for 5 minutes. And it's just like really hammering him home. That's what it's like when I talk in a breakout room, because I'm not listening. I'm just like, just blabber on about stupid shit.
Just talk and talk until they tell me, all right.
That's it. That's enough. Yeah. But that particular, I couldn't engage as much on that virtual event. I just found it more difficult because I had too many distractions around me. And at the time I just wasn't that invested in it, I don't think. So do you know what else it was? I think I got a free ticket to it. When you pay, you pay attention. So I wasn't solely invested. I think we've discussed to go do one of his events next year in person.
Yeah.
Go to Sydney and have a look at it.
It's in Melbourne.
Is he doing it in Melbourne now?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Even better. Better.
Which
Kerwin Ray.
Yeah. The one you sent me.
Oh, no, that was a different one. I'm talking his 3-day event or whatever it might be. Now, I know pretty much what he's going to be talking about for 3 days, and I know what the end sell is going to be on it too. But it's more just I look at that and learn from it and implement in my own business, more so than the content he's going to teach me. I don't necessarily think he's got heaps to teach me. And also...
Is that the wrong mindset going in though?
No. I will definitely be very open to everything he'll teach, like everything he'll say. I'll write it all down. I'll be very attentive in that. I'm saying from the next level of his coaching and mentoring. He'll have, because from what I understand, he'll sell you into a program where his coaches will coach you, not him. I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm doing bigger things than all of those people that will be trying to coach me.
Yeah.
So I find that difficult. If it's for me, if I was to go into that level of coaching, I'd be like, oi, Kerwin,
Stop fucking around.
stop fucking around. What time? What time are we rocking up?
I'll see it full.
That's it. So, but then you got to pay for that too.
Mm.
He's not going to be cheap, I dare say. So they're probably the two best in Australia.
Yeah.
And I would have that conversations with each of them. With Aaron, I do at the moment. I'm currently speaking with him and having those conversations. And I think he, from what I've seen, because I went to his last event and being part of his, elite mentoring group, I ask him specific questions. Hey, why did you do this on stage? Why did you do that? How did you get them to come in and do this? And then he gives me the answers openly and honestly. He says, why do you think I did it? I said, this, and this. He goes, yes. Or no, I do it because of this reason. Or I started off with 20 people in a room. Now I have 100 plus 200 waiting to get in. This is how I did it. This is how I built it. This is what I did. So I would have him on there, I think. And then I don't know who else, but one thing I will say about this board is I think it'll change.
100% it'll change.
And regularly for me, I find. There'd be a few that I would just have on there always, but I think it needs to change because you will grow and change. And eventually, as you've said before in the past, you're going to get to a point where they've taught you everything they can teach you. And then after that, it's like, well, we're growing together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're either doing this together and we're doing something different.
You're not adding any more value.
No, that's right. It's we're doing it together and we're going to go down this path together as a mutually beneficial
Unless you like their
relationship.
perspective always, then you'd keep them on.
Yeah, which I think a lot of people can also fall into the trap of. They become almost fanboys.
Yeah, so that's not liking their perspective. It's
No,
different.
yeah.
Liking someone's perspective is you might like having this person in your corner and the way they look at things is different to you, and you might like to have them as a sounding board. Yeah. Even though you probably know most of the time what they're going to respond with. But whereas fanboy stuff is different.
Well, that's even partly why I had my dad there too. I kind of know what he's going to say now.
Yeah, but you like having him as a sounding board.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you same thing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't say you're a fanboy.
Of my old man.
Like you love him.
He'll say that.
Huh? He'll tell you that?
He'll tell me that.
Probably.
So I'm mindful of that too. And also, I think it's good for your own personal growth to change things around. It's like the Hawthorn Football Club, and I believe it was Jeff Kennett that put this into place, that every 3 years you have to have a new president. It wasn't going to be like an Eddie Maguire that was there for 15 years, 20 years, however long he was there for, or a coach that's there for 20, 30 years. They want new people to come through the business because it brings in new ideas, new perspective, exactly, fresh set of eyes. And I think that's important as well. From a growth perspective, having that person come in and really create change. In the same token though, there could be someone that's a gun that you're getting rid of and you're going, well, he might actually be the best person and he's being forced out at the moment.
That's a very political thing, isn't it?
In what regard?
Like in regards to politics.
Yeah,
like
but
American presidents can't sit
more than 2 terms and stuff like that.
More than 2 terms, minimum 4, maximum 8, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's because they don't want the same person in the same seat for too long.
Well, Putin said this, actually. He goes, the reason why... He goes, you look at American politics, it's like they don't give a fuck because they know the consequences of their decisions are going to be irrelevant in 1 or 2 terms. He goes, when I make a decision, it's something I have to live with for the rest of my life because I am the president or I'm the leader of this country and I'm going to make decisions for the best of my country, whether that's a good decision or a bad decision, that all rests on me. Yeah. So he said that, I don't even know, I think it was recently. He was sort of bagging in Americans more than pumping his own himself up. But, that's important too, I guess. That's another perspective that you can think of. Anyway, sometimes that person at the top could be the best person. Yeah, and you're downgrading by going
going
somewhere else.
Having them change over.
So what about your list? I think I've given a bit of I've hogged the mic for a little while. Who's on your table?
I had some similar, but I had some different. So I didn't have anyone that I knew personally on my list when I did it. Mm-hmm. So I went through the whole thing and I kind of broke life down into different pillars, aspects, whatever you want to call it, and went through all them. And then, but there were some people that I think when I mentioned them to you, you're going to be like, oh, fuck. Like,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. You can talk mindset,
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Peterson.
Oh, fucking love him, right?
Guaranteed.
Recently, man.
Like guaranteed, I would have this guy in my
100.
corner just to be like, hey, why am I doing this?
I don't even think he would ever come off my table.
Yeah, I think he's just a phenomenal.
Honestly.
He's gonna be like the Socrates of this era. You know what I mean? Like the person.
Fuck, that is so true.
Yeah. He's gonna be someone that people are gonna talk about for centuries to come. You know
That
what I
is
mean?
so
The way
true.
he thinks, the way he speaks,
is
and the
so
way
true.
his ability to break down something, and you just look at him and think, this guy's he's not normal, dude. He's weird, but he's a good weird.
He's
like,
a genius.
they're genius level weird. Yeah.
He just like I'm listening to some of the words he uses, and I have to get my fucking dictionary out.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Dude, his book. Have you read his book?
I haven't. No,
It's
I
very
feel-
hard to read.
I feel that it would be difficult. Yeah,
Very hard to read because the way he is so specific with his language
Yeah.
that it's hard to read what he
I
writes.
think the only way I could do it is having the audio. And,
Yeah, I haven't tried the audio.
and read at the same time.
But I got like halfway through 12 Rules of Life,
Yeah.
and it's just it's a tough read.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say it's an amazing book.
Yeah.
Do you finish books when you have to read?
Yeah, I won't start another book until I finish the book.
I used to be like that,
Yeah.
but now I'm like, well, there's no point forcing my way through this because I'm going to miss what I'm supposed to get. So I'll put it down and I'll pick it up again later.
Yeah, potentially. That can. I mean, it's like watching a TV show or multiple TV shows or multiple movies. I guess you can still do that.
Can't
I don't know. I tend to. I know you can't relate. But for those at home, Robby doesn't watch movies or TV shows.
Some TV shows.
No, you don't fucking watch any TV. He's a nerd.
Trying to think of
You're a fucking nerd.
I don't, thanks, man.
You just read
I don't. I watch TV. Nah, what's
the weather channel.
the Weather Channel? I watch YouTube. Do you watch YouTube?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
watch
do.
YouTube a lot.
Not heaps. There's
You
a
have a
few
premium
people.
account?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Once you go premium, never go back.
What,
Can I
you
just say
do
on
not go
persistent?
back
Let's just talk about persistency.
with premium accounts.
Yeah.
Persistency.
How often, before I had a premium account, it would ask me every week, every month, do you want to
Oh,
upgrade
if you
to
wanna-
premium?
yeah,
Do you wanna
yeah,
upgrade
they
to
got
premium?
me.
They got me.
You know what
Do you
though?
want to do? Do you want
When
to
was
keep
it?
going? Do you want to keep going? Do you want to do it? Do you want to do it? And then eventually I said yes.
When was the last time you saw an ad on YouTube?
I wouldn't have fucking some other pleb was putting YouTube on and like, well, you don't have
Yeah.
a premium account? You fucking peasant.
What?
Get out of
Or
here.
you're like, yeah, play that video, and then they hit play, and then there's an ad, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Wait, is this YouTube? What are you doing? Like, it's the funniest thing.
so good.
All right, back to this. Yeah, Jordan Peterson, 100%.
Without a doubt.
And I've actually written down reasons. So I wrote to remind me to think clearly, to step up when I need to. Tony Robbins, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
I think his ability to understand humans, why they do things, behavior, habits, emotion, you know?
Yep.
I've got, so when I made this list, I was into basketball.
Is this a while ago or recently?
Well, when I actually redid this list almost 2 years ago.
Okay, so it's actually
Still
from a
fairly
while.
relevant, yeah. It's not that old. I've got LeBron James on here
Yeah,
because I
that's
think
cool.
he's a winner,
Mm.
and I think he knows how to win and will do anything to win.
Mhm.
And he's probably my favorite athlete that's still playing.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I reckon he'd be really cool. Kobe, when he was alive, would have been another one that would have been pretty cool to have on there too. As I said in a previous podcast, I never followed or listened to Kobe before his death, unfortunately, which is sad when you think about it. But I reckon his mindset following that from what I've listened to and what I studied is just phenomenal. His work ethic is just fucking unmatched.
the Mamba
Unmatched.
mentality. Yeah.
Unmatched.
Yeah. So I had. Yeah, that's another good one though. Kobe. That would be sick.
Mm.
I wouldn't have Michael Jordan. Why would I want the second best player in the NBA?
Shit.
Like
Holy shit. Let's
shots fired.
turn the podcast off.
Who else? I had Gary V
Mm-hmm.
on the list. I think he's been
I would have him on.
very impactful, and I think he's got an incredible ability to spot trends really early. Like I remember this. Yeah, I remember him saying in like 2017 or something like that, TikTok, and I thought you might be wrong here, bro. You know what I mean? and he was going hard at it. You got to get on TikTok, and that was like 5-6 years ago now.
When it was just fucking
When it
memes
was
and dancing.
when it was just getting like it's really at its infancy stage. And he was saying, this thing is massive. This thing is massive. This thing is massive. And look at it, dude. It's massive. TikTok's huge. TikTok's got over 1 billion users. It's one of the fastest growing platforms that hasn't leveraged another platform. Like Threads grew really quickly, but that leveraged Instagram.
Yeah.
This one didn't have anything to leverage. So Gary Vee.
I would have Gary on there now.
Very high energy.
I don't know how long he would stay on there.
No,
I kind of get on and off him a little bit.
Oh, yeah, he's too much.
Yeah, it's not that. I don't.
Nah, so definitely that. He's just a lot, and it's just like he's
goes
good in
into
small
different-
doses.
Yeah, I don't know. He goes off sometimes, and his other approach is about kindness and all that sort of stuff, which to a degree I believe, and I think it's good that you go down that path and empathy and all that.
I feel like he has grown his audience bigger than he ever thought possible, and now he's like, what the fuck do I do with this? Do you know what I mean?
One thing about him though is he's very consistent. He's been
Ridiculously
saying
consistent.
the same shit for 10 years.
He's got some guy goes, Gary, you've been saying the same thing for ages. He's like, because it works. He's like, what do you want me to do? Make shit up? Do you know what I mean? Of course I'm going to say the same shit. This is what works. Like, this is real.
Why would I change it?
Yeah, why would I change? Do you want me to just start making stuff up and lying? Like, that's not going to work.
Yeah, I do. And honestly, he is the reason why I started to create content.
Yeah, me too.
On
Dude,
that
he's the
pure
reason
basis.
why I decided I've got to learn how to run ads.
Yeah.
Because of what he said about personal brand, about underpriced attention. And yeah, he's I think, very influential person. Who else? I've got Joe Rogan. I'm a massive Joe Rogan fan, man.
I really like it. I
love that guy. I think he's smart. I think he's cool.
man, for what he's done, pretty cool.
You know what I mean? For a guy, what he's been able to achieve.
And think about the people that he's been associated with over the years.
Oh,
dude, how much has he learnt just from his guests?
Yeah, getting people like he's getting like the Elon Musks of the world, Mark Zuckerberg,
just to have that conversation with them.
Come on, let's
just
have
say,
a
hey, what do you reckon about
chat.
this? And then that makes him smarter. Just his curiosity with how he is with his guests. He's not the fucking smartest bloke in the world.
No, but you know what? He's smart though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But he's not like at the level of genius or anything.
Oh
like
no,
that.
no,
Do you know
no,
what I mean?
no,
I'm
no,
saying
no.
he's
very.
I find
human
he's very
smart,
human smart. Like
down to earth. Down to earth.
As in, we could have a conversation with him. Do you know what I mean? He's not like.
He's a cool dude, man. He just seems like such a cool guy.
Yeah.
I'd love to hang out with him. I'd love to have dinner with him.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
I would absolutely love that.
What do you think about Dana White?
Yeah, I love Dana White.
Yeah,
man.
Dana White's
I
a mad
think
dog.
he's a savage, and I love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. They did. I saw this clip of him the other day, and it was literally just about 10 clips in a row of him saying, "I don't give a fuck."
I sent it to you.
Oh, did you? How funny. That's right. That's right. It was like,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
just
guys, I
constantly.
need you to understand something. I don't give a fuck.
I love
And it was
that.
like something about, COVID or
Yeah.
fucking waving a flag at the octagon or fucking, women's rights or fucking whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, every time someone is like, guys, I don't give a fuck. That's great. Imagine you
Amazing.
can get up there and say that.
I love that guy, man. I think he's
It's refreshing.
yeah,
People
because he
are
hasn't
too fucking-
folded. He
That's
hasn't
right.
folded to the audience. He hasn't become
right.
like
To
a
the fucking
I can't say this
mainstream.
now because people are going to cut me off and people are going to.
I think we're a bit like that too.
Have you seen him hammer someone on Instagram? Like when someone comments something.
I've
on
seen him
his-
hammer his missus. Just as in,
Dude.
did you see that slap he gave her? I think it was last New Year's or something like
Yeah,
that.
he copped it for that.
Yeah, he copped it hard for that.
And you know what? He took it like a man and he said,
Yeah, did the
"There's
wrong thing.
I did the wrong thing. There is no way around this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say why I did it or try and give you some excuse. I'm just going to have to take the repercussions like a man."
Yeah, absolutely. I don't condone that at all. He didn't do the
Yeah,
right
no,
thing.
no.
there.
Yeah, no.
Didn't do the right thing. But as you said, he's learned from it. If he did it again, and if she came out with bruises and shit, you go, all right, you piece of shit. But other than that, I think he's
Yeah, I
done
would.
right
I
after
would
that.
love to have him there. He's the guy who, when you hesitate, he'd look at you and be like, "I don't give a fuck." He's like, "All right, let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go." You're right. That's all I really had, man. That I would continue on. Like I had a couple where, like for example, I had Will Smith. Like I was a big Will Smith
Back
fan.
in the day?
Yeah,
Is that pre-slap?
pre-slap.
After slap? What were your thoughts on him
Completely-
after
I
that?
lost all respect for him, dude.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had so funny. I bought his book.
Oh, don't even know that one.
It only come out in the last couple of years.
Oh, okay.
It's a book about his
Actually, I do remember
biography.
that. No, I do
The
remember
yellow
that.
cover.
Yep,
it's got
yep.
Yeah. And I bought it, and it was like every time I've got a next book to read, it usually sits on either my desk or my dining table.
Yeah.
And his book was next.
And went to the back of the list.
Dude, went straight to the bottom of the box. Just like, haven't touched it, have not picked it up. I just had I wasn't no longer interested to learn about this guy to that level.
It was funny
After
because
that
he went on
incident.
a really massive rebranding journey. And like if you look at his...
When he started socials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He,
that was
he
pre-slap.
became pre-slap. He
Yeah.
became massive because he started to... Pre-slap.
Like,
Well,
how funny is that?
exactly.
Yeah. That's a defining moment in his life, man.
Yeah, he's fucked himself.
Yeah, he's...
And it's like you look at his journey with how he rebuilt his brand from being that massive movie star to then going, okay, cool, I'm going to become that really popular, massive guy, still doing my movies.
He is, dude. Come on, man. The Fresh Prince, like he is the guy. Like
Yeah.
he's one of the people in the world. He's so cool. Like he's got a level of coolness that few people in the world have.
And he's made some great movies as well.
Yeah, he's made some great movies. Like he clocked that part of life. Like he's got some sick movies, dude. You know what I mean? And he
won an Oscar.
Music,
He won an Oscar that slap. He won the Oscar.
That slap. Oh, that same
at that awards.
Can you
Yeah,
believe
so
they
is
got
it-
through?
Yeah, I think they didn't know what the fuck to do. Like, what else are they going to do? Say, no, you're not getting this
Skip
anymore.
that
Like, what do they do?
category.
Yeah, he won the best. No, there was the main one.
Was it?
It was like the best actor or some shit for the year or whatever. So it was like the biggest honor on the night. They're not going to be like, oh, hey, bloke, sorry, you got to leave.
And then he just got up and pretended like.
Yeah, it was. But everyone's just like, what the fuck?
That slap was full on, huh? That was very, but yeah,
Do you
got
know
you
what
off
it
the list.
was?
Got you off the list.
It was
Will.
just weird, man.
It was just weird.
I think so.
I
think it
don't
was
like.
weird.
I'm not a fan of.
I think it was
life.
just weird. Like to get up in front of the fucking world, man. It's not like 4 people. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you're at a party and he's dissing your missus and you go in there and punch him in the face. This is everyone in the world is going to see this. For it, like,
And
it wasn't even that bad. Like you're
he's
talking
a comedian.
about a comedian.
He's
yeah.
a comedian.
Will is or
No. Chris Rock.
yeah, that's right. He's a comedian that's
He's a
literally
comedian
there bagging.
that
like,
was bagging everyone.
what about Ricky Gervais?
He's the best.
People should have fucking headbutted
I
him.
would have him on my book.
But you look at him when he hosts the the Emmys or some shit.
Yeah, the Oscars.
He tears shreds off people,
Dude.
Not just like, hey,
can
you
recite-
don't have any hair.
No,
He's like, just fucks them up.
Yeah, destroys. Like, I love
but
him. I love that guy.
it's so funny.
Absolutely love
But
that
people don't go up there and slap and crack. Okay,
pretty
you
big
might,
bloke.
you might. He's what?
He's a big bloke.
Is he?
No, he looks big.
Oh.
Looks like he might slap back.
But I mean, even when Chris Rock had that slap, it's like, what? Like, he would have just been so blown away that it even happened. You know what I mean? It's like, what? Did that even just happen?
Ultimate professional though.
Yeah,
Held
imagine
it
he turned
together.
around and fucking roundhouse kicked him or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
he
go
just
to
turned
it.
around, dropped him.
That's it, just
Started
dropped
dropping
him.
everyone in the crowd.
What would you do? Just
Nothing.
give him a
Tackle
this
him.
is just did
Slap
this is
him.
did a this is Sparta and just kicked him off the stairs and
That would have been sick.
now we're talking. And then could you imagine the UFC deal after that as well? Get him in a ring.
Yeah.
That's
Dana
all.
White would have been there straight away.
That's
trying
it.
to cut a deal.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. That would have been sick.
That would have been cool. And then, you hear all the conspiracy theorists saying it was all set up, it was all rigged and wasn't true, it didn't happen. But I don't think that was the case. I think that would be
Why
detrimental.
would they rig it?
It would be it has been detrimental to his career.
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah.
banned from the Oscars for 10 years or some
Yeah,
shit.
I won't read his book now.
Yeah, well, there's
That's-
that as well. I'm
that's-
sure it's definitely cost him movie deals. He did a movie recently on one of the streaming platforms and about slavery, and it looked like it was a pretty good movie. I haven't watched it, but yeah, it's
Shame
Yeah.
for a guy who's
Look,
had
I think
a
he'll come
phenomenal-
back as well. It's like Tom Cruise. Remember Tom Cruise? Everyone fucking hated him for a while. I
Why?
don't know if you do. Just with all his Scientology shit. He did this Oprah interview where everyone thought he was a fucking weirdo when he jumped on the couch.
I think he's a weirdo.
And then but he's come back and changed his brand completely. Some of the movies he's made of late have just been phenomenal, and people love everything he's doing. Like everything he touches. Like when
People
he recently
forget,
did what's it called? Yeah, people forget. Top Gun, the remake of that.
Yeah.
Like that was everyone loved that movie, and all his Mission Impossible movies that he's doing. Like and he does his own stunts, and he's 50 years old and he looks like he's 20. Like the guy's,
He does look young.
he's recreated himself, and as you said, people forget. So I think that will happen with Will Smith as well.
Will happen for Will.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it, man. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head that I would have. You know who I did have on this list as well, but I probably wouldn't have them there now? Tom Bilyeu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was a big fan of his.
I never
used to
gotten into
consume
his
a lot
stuff,
of his stuff.
hugely. I saw he recently had an online course about speaking from stage.
Really?
Yeah, it was like $1,000. I was curious about it. I haven't bought it. But, if you learn one thing, it's probably worth looking at it.
Yeah. You probably want to have like titans of their industries in that space as well. Like, you know what I mean? People who are absolutely dominating. Like, who I'm a big fan of as well, The Rock.
Yeah, me too.
Do you know what I mean? Like, big fan. For what he's been able to do.
What about Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, again.
I really like... you look at what he's actually achieved. Did you watch his doco on Netflix?
No.
Have you seen it? It's not bad. You should watch it. Yeah.
Apparently his book's good.
Yeah, I want to get that too. I will get that. But I've always admired him purely from the perspective of he's conquered 3 massive things in his life that people try and do just one of those and never achieve it.
Yeah, he's a winner.
He is.
Some
knows
people know how to
win.
win. Yeah,
But see, when you listen to his story and his documentary and his upbringing, his childhood, all that sort of stuff, you can kind of understand where that comes from a little bit too. And he came to America. He won Mr. Olympia. However many times he won it, he was the biggest.
But
he was the best.
people always told him like, no. Like he says it. He goes, I clocked the bodybuilding world. I want to become an actor. They're like, you don't even speak English.
That's it.
No, you can't do that. He goes, I went and did it. And then I said, I want to go do politics. And they're like, that's a whole different, like you ever get it. Like, it's a whole different, he went and did it.
Yeah.
It's a winner.
That's it.
Absolute winner in life.
But so people like that, you can get definitely inspiration from for sure. You can have them on the board temporarily or for however long you want.
Just like
but The Rock's the same too. The Rock became really big in...
6-month term.
Yeah, just a stint.
Well,
Just give you 6 months.
yeah.
But The Rock did it well. Like you look at what he's done with...
But if The Rock ran for president, seriously,
he would win, man.
He would win.
He would win.
He
As
would.
if you wouldn't.
Everyone would vote him in.
I'd fucking go become a citizen and vote him in.
They're always, that's commitment.
It's the states are like that these days. You know what I mean? Like, if you're really likable, they just vote you in for the fuck of
Would
it.
you have Trump on your board?
I think he's great. Yeah.
Trump, yeah. I think he's very smart man.
Yeah, I think he's the best thing that ever happened to America.
Incredibly smart man.
As far as him being the president, I think. Look, I don't follow the politics too much over there, but from what I could see, the things that he did whilst he was in office created significant change for the better. And then you get someone like Biden in who can't fucking string a sentence together, and he's fucking tripping over himself. Like, how do you?
Here's another thing as well. This just crossed my mind. You'd want some people on there. Like, I would have Joe Rogan on there, not because I think he's going to give me great advice, because I feel like I could fuck around with him. While the rest of them are making my life decisions for me. You know what I mean? And you could turn to him and be like,
oh, should we do this on the podcast?
How fucked is this?
Yeah. Just laugh. Just
While all the people are making big decisions,
yeah.
You know what I mean? That person that you can sort of turn to and be like, there's someone a little bit more, not on your level, but like a little bit more down to earth. Whereas a lot of these people are like, that'd be
that's
very.
That's why I don't mind having someone like a friend or like even yourself on my board, because it's also, you're getting, the growth journey is something that's happening together as well.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I like that aspect too. And then you could be like a business partner. I think a business partner should probably be on your board.
How sick is it going to be to build a board one day for a company?
Yeah, but
isn't that going to be mad?
Yeah.
Like, imagine sitting there like Legacy's board.
Yeah.
So got a board meeting, George. Come on. Anyway,
let's go. Hang on. Let me just park the jet ski up.
Can't be fucked.
I'm gonna put the jet ski back in the yacht.
Tell them to meet me in the bay.
Yeah. That's can't be fucked.
Yeah.
Let's do it on the yacht.
On the yacht.
Let's do it on the yacht. They'd love it.
I'd love it. They're sick.
I would have a business partner. I think it's important to have a business partner on your board, because if you're not heading in the right direction, then why the fuck are you guys in business together as well?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't look at it as I look at it as a board for you, not a board for your business? Like you'd have a board for your business, right?
I'd have it as a board
And you could
for
turn to
people
them when
wanting
you're
to
like-
take the direction that I'm going in my life. That's what the board, that's how I see the board. Do you know what I mean? I don't necessarily be like, this is just to give me advice. This is just, no, well, what direction am I going in with my life and who's going to come with me?
It's a pretty interesting exercise, huh? Because then you're like, okay, who do I want
So
on the table?
So GC talks about this too with the power base, and he got that because he was I've very early days when I started following him, and not long after I finished Think and Grow Rich, I noticed a lot of the similarities of what he was talking about in his content came from that book. A lot of the stuff, and he did speak
But
about
dude,
your power base.
Yeah, you know what? I have no issue with that because no one, or very rarely,
And he was referenced that too.
yeah, but dude, very rarely does anyone invent anything brand new. Like
Yeah.
even if you come up with a concept, you got the ideas that put that concept together from someone else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You heard something, you read something, you saw something, and that's what allowed you to do that. So I have no idea when, no problem when people share what they learn.
So yeah, absolutely. And just going off your boardroom people or your group, the power base of people in your life. This can be genuinely people that you actually have a physical connection with, be it a friend, a business partner, even a mentor, but actually, or a group of business people where you could go, hey, and we've spoken about this. Let's get half a dozen people together that we know that we think would be beneficial in a group, so we can catch up and talk money, talk business, talk life.
Yeah.
Put ideas forward. Hey, we're thinking about this. What do you guys reckon? That is powerful too. That's why it's called your power base. You're going to run ideas past them and say, boys, this is what we're thinking about. This is what we're doing. What do you reckon? And girls, if you have girls there or if you are a woman, whoever's part of your power base, get in touch with them for sure. And then I also talk about this even at events and saying, well, you can extend your power base to be clients. Who can you go to get some money off? Who can you go to help you grow your empire, your business, whatever you want in your life? And
Your network.
your network of people. Like who's a power base?
It's like you're in a circle.
Yeah.
This is you're in a circle.
Yeah, like I've got clients that repeatedly buy from me.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I speak to them and say, hey, Ben, like I got one guy that I'm going to meet up with next year. He's a very wealthy gentleman. He's an absolute gentleman. One of the nicest guys I've ever come across.
It'll be this year by the time this comes out.
Sorry?
It'll be this year.
This year. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. In 2024. And I'm going to connect with him. And I texted him, when was it? Earlier in the month, said, hey, hope you're doing well. Haven't spoken in a little while. Really hectic coming into Christmas, but I want to catch up with you early next year. And he responded, George, great to hear from you. Cannot wait. And I'm going to meet up with him. We'll talk shop. We'll talk life. We'll talk whatever we're going to talk about. But I've got a lot of time for him and he has a lot of time for me. And anytime he ever has a project, he always refers me. Always. He goes, George, you're my builder. Whoever comes to me saying they want something built, I send them your way. And that's purely just because we gave him an excellent product, excellent service. Anytime he wants anything, I'm like, hey, yeah, absolutely. What do you want? How can I help?
So if you haven't done this and you just listen to this whole episode, this is probably something you should take some time out and sit down and do and make a list of, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people.
Yeah. And by the time you hear this is the new year. Perfect time to do this. This is better than doing fucking New Year's resolution bullshit.
This is...
Do you know what I mean? Because New Year's resolutions is just an excuse for all the shit that you haven't done that you're like, I'm going to do that this year, but you have no plan, you have no strategy, you got nothing there in place to actually create the change. This could create the change. And then,
massively, dude.
And then say, okay, great, these are the people that I want to learn from this year. Actually fucking go out and learn from them. Listen to their podcasts, read their books, watch their YouTube channel, go to their events. They're probably going to come here at some stage. Most of these people will come here and talk and do a keynote speech or a training course, whatever it might be. Connect with them. As I said, you don't have to know them to learn from them and to become a better version of yourself.
And go and read Think and Grow Rich. I think it's one of the best books. It'd be a top 5.
Yeah, it was actually one of the very first books I read.
I think it was in one of the first 5 books I read. But yeah, it'd be one of the top books I've read.
Yep.
I really, really rate it. And it's basic, but it teaches you some shit that no one else will. All right.
Very nice. What a great episode.
Fantastic.
I'm glad I didn't know the topic before I came in here. I kind of like the direction of how our podcasts go.
What do you mean?
They're very natural. And it's not like I send you
that
the show
was literally
notes.
dropped on you.
Yeah, but I did that to you a few weeks ago as well. Where I said, hey, we're going to talk about this.
It's an open chat.
It is. And it's like, what are your show notes? And it's like, I don't email you what we're going to talk about, the questions I'm going to ask. And
should we do that?
No,
Should we?
no, I won't be doing that. And if you send me it, I'm just going to, you're like, oh, did you
You
read
don't-
the
you
show
don't read
notes? I'm
your
just going to
emails
delete
anyway.
it. I
Don't
don't.
read your
I
emails.
literally got an email and I sent it to my project manager. I said, yeah, summarize,
He
sort it
was
out.
he was flipping. When you,
Yeah. He called me up. He's like, what do you want me to do here? I said, fucking summarize it. I don't have time to read that shit. I'm casting. Don't fuck around.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. I'm casting. So I like the direction. Huh?
I want to say this just before you close.
Yeah.
I had someone come to me and they said, "Hey, tell George in the way that he's closing, tell him he can have all my money, just don't touch me."
Just-
Because you always say we don't want any money, we want to touch people.
we just want to
It's
touch
like,
people.
tell him not to touch me. You can have all
touch
my money.
No. Give me all your money. I won't touch you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to fucking touch you in every way.
And then you can keep your money.
That's it. It's one or the other, guys. It's one or the
Can't
other.
have your
You
cake and
can't-
eat it too.
That's it. What was I talking about? Yeah, so I like how the natural direction of how our podcast goes. You know, we had a guest once, and they're saying, "Oh, can you email me the show notes and what questions you're going to ask? Oh, this is my introduction and this and this." I'm like, no, shut the fuck up. That's not what this is about.
Sit down.
Sit down.
You're not coming on anymore.
Okay. In saying that, let's say we had Jordan Peterson on our podcast.
Yeah.
When we do, would you do a bit more research?
I know him pretty well.
In the
yes, I
perspective,
would.
in the perspective of, would
I
you
think-
prepare for the podcast?
Yeah, because I don't think Jordan Peterson's going to come on and talk shit.
Hmm.
This is really, we just sit here and we talk. And we share what we know.
What, do you reckon Joe Rogan sits there and he's like, okay, let me just
I
fucking
think-
do my show notes?
I reckon, no, I think when he gets a phenomenal guest though, like I think the first time he would have had Elon Musk on, I
He would
reckon
have had some
he would have done
questions.
something.
He would have had some questions there.
He would have
and,
done a little bit of research.
I think
and
for
also,
someone like that, of that
he's-
caliber, I
yeah,
think you would have questions that you're genuinely curious about or
Yeah.
that your guests want to talk about or hear.
yeah, and I think a key thing as well with guests is always asking them, is there anything we can't touch on?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, 'cause just so I know,
So when we get Will Smith on, we're not going to talk about the slap.
I'm going to only talk about the stuff.
That's it.
So you're coming on for this.
That's it. You're only
7
gonna come
minutes, and then
on.
you're off
That's
the
it.
board.
But then he slaps you when he leaves. It's part
We'll
of
do
it. It'll be part of
That's
the show.
about Chris Rock. Was the
That's
same,
it.
bro.
That's it. You and me.
Yeah.
So I like that. I think it's flowing really well. I'd be curious to see what you guys think. Actually, do you like the structure of our chats, or do you prefer them being more structured?
There's no. Either way.
Either
they're
way,
not, they're not going to be structured.
Either way, your opinion's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
It's just great to hear that.
Just
to hear
Trying to make
that
you feel
feedback.
special.
I just want you to put your comments down so the algorithm puts up to number fucking one in Australia in
Number one.
entrepreneurship and
Yeah.
business
No,
podcast.
seriously though, I've said this a couple of times. And if there is something that you do want to, we should. What's the we should give the email at the end and say if there's something that you do want to hear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
If there is something you do want to hear, send an email to milliondollardayspod@gmail.com.
Oh, we've got to
And-
fix that shit up.
Yeah,
You've got to make it info at $1 Million Days Pod.
All right, fine.
Robbie,
send it
task
to
number one.
Send it to info@milliondollardayspod.
Much better, actually, because by the time
Actually,
by the
info-
time everyone hears this, you're going to have that done. Yeah, that email is going to be set up.
100%.
Yeah,
info@milliondollarday's.com.
yeah. So
.au.
strike the previous one.
I will put it in the.
show notes.
It'll be somewhere here. Somewhere.
in the show notes.
It'll pop up on the screen. info@milliondollardays.com.au. Let us know what you want to hear. And
we'll get around
discuss
to it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
we'll
we
get
think
around
it's a
to it.
topic worth having the discussion around, we'll definitely do it.
yeah,
You know? Don't send a topic about peanut butter. We're not going to do it.
I like peanut butter.
You told me the other day, I'm actually going to film a video probably over the Christmas break. I'm going to send it to you. I may even post it across social media. Peanut butter and Nutella.
Don't send it to me. Just post it.
Just
And
post it.
tag me.
All right, I'll tag you. Apparently,
butter
it's meant to
and
be life-changing shit. And for those of you that have done that before, you're going to see it on my socials.
You'll thank me later.
That's it. So thanks a lot, guys. We really appreciate you listening to this episode of $1 Million Days. We would love it if you could help us grow this podcast to a level that it can help other people.
Yeah,
And if you do that,
share,
Subscribe.
comment, subscribe. What else?
What else could you do?
Press stuff. Just press stuff on the screen. Just
Play it at work.
reviews.
Put it on
Give us a review. Give us a
do
5-star review.
5-star review.
Nothing less.
Nothing. If you give us a 4-star review, we will look
Find
for
you.
you.
Yeah,
We'll find you,
and we'll kill you.
and we will kill you.
Yeah.
What a great episode. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Speak to you soon.